It's a problem we all share. What should we do with old clothes? Don't like the jacket anymore? The t-shirt is torn? The jeans are stained? Do they all go in the bin? No, because textile waste continues to be a huge problem, with an estimated 1.5 million tons ending up on Germany's rubbish tips every year instead of being recycled in a useful manner. Only 750,000 tons are recycled via used clothes containers, but they only take new and clean items. The world's second largest fashion chain is now offering a solution. From now on, they will accept any kind of clothes, even if they're old, dirty and tattered. Because old textiles are not only a valuable raw material, reusing them also saves a lot of resources, as the company's sustainability manager explains.
If you consider that with 1 kilogram of collected clothing, 6,000 litres of water are saved, 3.6 kilograms of CO2 are saved, and together half a kilogram of fertiliser and pesticides with just 1 kilo, then of course this has a huge impact, a huge effect on resources and on CO2.
We want to know how our old clothes are recycled. Every morning at 6 a.m, a truck collects the old clothes bags from the store branches and brings them to the head office. From there, they go to Wolfen near Leipzig. This is also where the bag with our 3 garments ends up. In one of the largest sorting factories in the world, 420 tons of clothes pass along the conveyors every day. 760 employees work here. From here, we'll follow the journey of these 3 garments. Each one will end up finding a different use in the recycling process. This begins with a very general pre-sorting. 2 workers separate rubbish, duvets, bags, hangers and shoes from the old textiles. The soles of old shoes can also be recycled to make sports field surfaces. Our clothes end up in one of these big yellow bags. There are 879 of them in total. They are remote controlled and sent to the next step by computer. Over the total of 3.4 kilometers of tracks, the journey continues to the pre-sorting area. Here, they are separated according to type. For example, waistcoats, trousers, t-shirts and so on. In precision sorting, specially trained staff take every single garment in their hands and check it for quality and material. The fashion aspect is also decisive for where the clothes end up. You have to have an eye for it, also for the fashionable things. You have to know what is modern, what is up to date, what is worn. Like tight-fitting lady trousers or stretched jeans. You find out in magazines, on television, or you go shopping. In the shops, in catalogues now, and so on. That's actually a prerequisite here, if someone applies for a job, that they are interested in it. A sorter inspects 1,000 kilograms of clothes per day. There are a total of 3 sorting stages in which clothes are separated according to 400 criteria. It works like a sieve that gets finer and finer. Here, in the final and finest stage, we find our beige cardigan again. It ends up in compartment 4A for the so-called cream goods, high-quality and fashionable clothes. On average, 40 to 60% go into second-hand sales. And that's how our cardigan ends up in Berlin. It will find a new owner at Colors. Selling items is not only the most sustainable form of reuse, it's the only way to finance the whole program. And so the cardigan that Birte threw away at the beginning now costs €10 in the hip second-hand shop in Berlin. Back to one of the largest sorting plants in the world and our torn t-shirt. That lands on the fine sorting table for t-shirts and is thrown into the chute for reuse. On average, 5 to 10% of the clothes end up here. When the chute is full, the old clothes go into the textile press. The Titan then exerts 40 tons to press them together into 440 kilogram bales. The bale with our t-shirt ends up here. At Imhanex in Salzgitter, an employee cuts our t-shirt into 3 pieces. Industrial companies buy the rags in bales and boxes as cleaning rags. The rags from our t-shirt then go to this polishing company. This so-called tricot fabric is very popular because it absorbs liquids particularly well. So now there's one garment left, our jeans. They end up on the fine sorting table for trousers. And where do they go? These trousers are too dirty now, so they'll go into the jeans shredder. That's where all the clothes end up that can no longer be used. But their textile fibers are still an important raw material. And that's what this machine here, the shredder, wants to get at. Razor-sharp blades cut our dirty trousers into smaller and smaller pieces. Up to 40% of the old clothes are downcycled in this way. Next, the different textile scraps are mixed. And Konopka is responsible for this.
In this mixture, depending on the customer requirements, there are jeans, acrylic, knitted cotton or cloth. It depends on what material composition the customer wants.
Because every customer needs the textile fibers for a different product. But in this form, they can't do anything with it yet. Only after they have been dealt with by these cylinders. And that's what happens in this machine. At 800 revolutions per minute, they tear up the textile remnants until at the end, after 6 stations, only the fine fibers are left. All metal parts, such as buttons and zips, are sorted out beforehand by an air jet. They will also be recycled later. Even the dust that is sucked out of the air is reused as roofing felt.
This is compressed dust, so we have very little waste. The dust is dissolved again and is fed into the paper production. The fact that these are very fine fibers makes the roofing felt of higher quality.
With 200 tons of pressing force, this machine then presses the finished textile fibers together into bales weighing around 400 kilograms. The bale with our jeans then ends up in Chemnitz at the Saxon Textile Research Institute. Here, the loose textile fibers are turned into fleece. For this purpose, the raw material is mixed thoroughly with polypropylene fibers from old carpet yarns to hold them together as an adhesive. The mixture is blown into the next machine, which then shapes it into the right form before it goes into the hot 170-degree oven. There, the thermal adhesive melts and the loose fibers are turned into solid nonwovens for a wide variety of applications.
Such non-wovens go into cars in large quantities. You'll find up to 20-30 kilograms of shredded fibers, recycled fibers in an average medium-sized car, which are used there as insulating or carrier materials.
Also in Ingolstadt, Europe's second largest car plant. Over 500,000 vehicles leave the plant here every year. Recycled clothes are used here as insulation, parcel shelves, interior and trunk linings for the current Q5. Cotton like this, made from our old jeans, has a very high sound insulation factor and is therefore very popular in the automotive industry. And so parts of our dirty old jeans end up in this new car. But many more useful things can be produced from textile fibers. They are even in our euro notes to make them more durable, or as insulation material in house building, as carrier bags, seat cushions, filling material for seats and cuddly toys. Even shoe horns can be made from them. Only about 2%, which has no use at all, is burned to produce energy. Textile researchers are currently working on a vision for the future, back to the resource. For this purpose, the shredder cuts and shreds the old clothes until only the cotton fibers are left. These are then to be spun into yarn in a new secret process. The process then continues just like in conventional production. Large machines weave the yarn into fabrics, which are then used to make new clothes. The goal, a completely closed cycle. But that is not so easy.
The challenge is to produce the necessary length from these short fiber pieces in order to be able to produce clothing again. The shorter the fiber, the more difficult it is. So you need long fibers. So there's still a lot of research to be done. That's why the funds from the income we generate with the initiative go into fiber research and development.
As we have seen, many useful things can be made from old clothes, even if they are torn and no longer wearable, because old textiles are a precious raw material. That's why the bin is the very worst place for our clothes.